Hey boys and girls, now it's time for Talking Trash with Panda, co-hosted by Angry Sarge. Yeah, let's go. Now here's your host, Tactical Trash Panda.
What's up, everybody? It's Tactical Trash Panda. Good to see you all again. It's been a while. I know with St. Patty's Day, we did an extra week. Usually we do the show every other week, but tonight we have a special guest. I'll bring him up in a few moments. But I want to thank the show sponsor, Newprint Custom Firearms. Yeah, here they are. Guys, if you're interested in getting a custom slide cut or optics cut, some Cerakote, anything, hit up Newprint Custom Firearms. Let them know what you're thinking about, and they will help you out. Other than that, I want to also thank Freedom Crew University, home of the best builders in the nation, here to teach you how to properly build your firearm and turn that thing 100% functional. As you can see, we have all the great people here to teach you, and you can take a class with them. So please enroll today and sign up for a class. Don't wait. That being said, I want to give a shout out to a few of the guests here. Look at that. Angry Sarge. Of course, he's the first one every single time. It's that military. I gotta be on time. I can't be late. Gotta be 30 minutes in advance here. But Sons of Liberty, good to see you, brother. Serenity in the house. Of course, Caleb is here as always. Look who we got. The Rogue Banshee. He is going to be our special guest tonight, so stay tuned. We have Grayling Slayer. I don't think I've seen him before, so welcome to the show, brother. Hopefully you enjoy this. Let's see. Marconi Armory is in the house. Guys, if you don't know who Marconi Armory is, if you haven't seen the Lambo slide, go check him out. Go follow him on Instagram. Look at his website. You may see some things that you may want to buy. We have Tech Money. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. We have Shogun Customs, another one of our instructors at Freedom Crew University. We have Jen Champ Jr. Let's see. We have BV Luminous. Welcome to the show. All right, that's it for right now. The viewers are showing up. That being said, let me bring on my guest hosts, the show host, Angry Sarge. What's going on, brother? Good to see you.
I'm one of those, right? Co-host,
co-host,
guest host, one of those.
We'll yeah.
What's up, man? It's good
How's
to see you.
Going?
Good, man. Glad to be back and get this party started, right? It's been a minute.
It does. It feels like forever since our last show.
I think we didn't have a guest then, right? We just kind of chit-chatted and all that stuff.
Yeah. So we're thinking about that. You know how we do 2 shows a month. Maybe we'll continue that. I think the viewers, I think, appreciated that we were able to go back and forth and answer some questions with them.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, we don't really get a chance to do that when we have guests on, but that was fun. Anything you want to tell our audience today, Sarge, before I introduce our guest?
No, I mean, nothing new right now. I've got some stuff kind of coming up soon. that I'm going to announce. So I'm pretty excited about that, but it's going to be a minute. I've got to work on a couple things for the university and get some stuff done for that first.
Awesome. All right.
But I also want to say thank you everybody for being here. We always appreciate you. I mean, our regulars that come and support us, we're always thankful to have
Most
you
definitely.
guys and gals here.
Most definitely. The show wouldn't be the same without our viewers and our audience is the reason why we do this.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, let's bring the man himself, the Rogue Banshee. Welcome to the show, brother. How's everything going?
It's got, you guys got me so screwed up back here because I've got 2 chat windows, one for each channel.
Yeah.
And it's like I got you up there on the screen, and I'm like, I can't keep track of all the crap that's going on all at once.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's fun, though, man. It's great to be here, man.
Great to have you.
Yeah.
I know that you did a podcast with each one of us separately. That was
the first and second podcast of the year you guys were on.
Yeah.
So Sarge was first, and Panda, you were second. So we started the year right off with you two.
Yeah.
I'm honored,
man. I will say this.
Man.
I gotta say this though about that. One, it was super easy because it's pre-recorded, it's not live and all that stuff. And we were already, kind of BSing beforehand, and then we BS'd a little bit after. But whenever you were doing Panda, as far as the podcast goes, I'm going to be taking some of what y'all said, and I'm going to clip it, and I'm going to throw it on the channel because I was like, either these guys really like me or they're just kind of blowing smoke everywhere.
We were punking you, man. You see, we had this elaborate plan all the way back in January going, we're going to talk Sarge up because he's going to grab clips and put it on his channel. We just know he's going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
Of course.
I appreciate the punk. Okay. Whatever y'all said, I would take every bit of it.
You see, that's what you see now. It's the whole Instagram thing about, where Panda, I said, I hear your guest Friday's a real punk. See where it's coming from?
Yeah.
I planned that joke out a week.
You got me.
Yeah, so what's funny is I had seen some of your videos in the past, but I didn't really get to know you as a person maybe up until
December.
November, late November, early December.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's all thanks to Freedom Crew University. And I'm excited.
One of the greatest things about that, because that's where I ran into the two of you. It's like, I know who you guys were. Damn, I was just looking outside the window and we got the snowstorm that suddenly blew up. Sorry, it's winter in Montana. Yeah, it was in the 40s today. Now it's snowing. And that's the thing about FCU is that we kind of ran in the same circles, but we didn't really know each other.
Yeah.
And then going through all the beginning of that, it's like with Marine Gun Builder a couple of years ago, I had sent him a message going, "Hey man, we should do a collaboration." He never got it, and around the same time, he had sent me a message of, "Hey, let's do a collaboration," and I never got it. And then like 2 years later, we're talking on the cell phone. He's like, "Hey man, we got this thing called Freedom Crew University coming up. You in?" I'm like, I'm in. And then now I'm starting to loop back around with all these people that I've heard of, but never have talked to, but we're all doing the same stuff. And it's so awesome to do that, because that's really how I met the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how there's so many of us that are into the same things that, it just takes that one person to get us all together.
Well, yeah, that's why I call Marine Gun Builder our Jimmy Hoffa. He's kind of organized all the gun builders, right?
Yeah.
So now it's going to be like the Gun Builder Union.
Yeah.
It really, yeah. You got the best builders put together in one place where you have so many people you could choose from to take a class with. I'm
I know, it's
excited.
awesome.
I'm really excited. Hell, I mean, let's see. I mean, so let me get into the questions, and we'll start with Banshee. What is your background? Since you love firearms so much, we went over this a little bit on your show, but what is your
We're here.
background?
So
Yeah.
I've been shooting since I was like real little. So I've been shooting over 40 years now. It's starting to date myself here. But really it's just been going through shooting, learning how to shoot early. I mean, I think I started when I was 7 with a Crossman, pump action pellet gun. And then, graduated up to a Smith & Wesson Model 41, and, that's the 22. And then got Dan Wesson 357, 9 millimeters and all that stuff, just kind of growing up with guns. But really, how I kind of got to doing like the disassembly and reassembly, I've been taking crap apart since I was a kid, right? I mean, I always used to say that I could save Huffy millions of dollars because when I would take my bike apart, I'd always have extra stuff left over. It's like, well, they didn't need these parts because the bike works, right?
They're making it too complicated.
Exactly. But that's really my background. Then going into adulthood, I started competing when I was 21. I went out and bought a Glock 17. I was living in Maryland at the time, and that's what actually got me started in competition, was that gun. And then moving out here to Montana, I got my FFL. I always wanted to be a gun dealer. Going through high school and in college and stuff, I always wanted to be a gun dealer. So I got my FFL, and then I started off selling guns, then starting, help people build ARs, then went into Cerakote, and then I got sick of taking people's guns apart to do Cerakote work, so I started doing disassembly videos on YouTube, so people would do that for me.
Make it easier, right?
Make it easier because I mean, the disassembly and reassembly for a Cerakote job is like $50. I'm like, my time's worth more than $50. So here, let me just do a video. Little did I know that, like, my first video, gosh, I think I had like 40 hours into that video. And I didn't know how hard it was going to be being a content creator.
Yeah. Well, I'm learning that right now. Like, y'all have kind of been doing stuff, and I'm just kind of learning it on my own, but doing tutorials with whatever program that I'm using, which I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro. So it's a pain because there's so much to it, and you can mess up something really easy. So just going through that, and then finding out my computer's not wanting to cooperate and all this stuff. Like, some of my footage doesn't mesh up well together. So it just, I'm having all kinds of problems, and I'm like, do I even want to do this? Yeah, I do.
It can be, I'm not gonna lie, like all that process can be a little discouraging at times, but then you think about your viewers and you're like, no, I can't let them down.
And they become your passion and drive to do it.
Yeah, they do. Like, there's days where I come home from work super tired, and I'm like, I just want to lay down, relax a little bit, but I'm like, no, I gotta make another video. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
Well, and all that came crashing down on me, in the past month, because I got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, and then finally I'm just like, I need to take time off, deal with all the stuff going on in my personal life. Just this week started filming content again, and it's like, it feels so good to start get back in the studio and start creating content again. It's like, I really like doing it because I just like teaching people. I like showing people how to do things, and it's almost like, even though it's been 3 weeks I took off, it's like rediscovering my passion again.
I mean, it's good. Like, obviously, with us being such I won't say like we're super tight knit, but we are getting closer with FCU and stuff, and kind of hearing what's going on.
Yeah.
None of us want to see each other suffer or have any
No,
issues, and if we can help out, we
Yeah.
want to be there.
And even though if we're not like super tight, we all know that we can pick up the phone. We all have each other's cell phones numbers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, it's one of those things is that, if my phone rings, I look down, I'm like, as long as I'm not in a meeting for my day job, you'll get a text back saying I'll call you back.
Yeah.
That phone's being answered, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's the type of respect that we have for each other, that we're in the same community, and even a tighter community with FCU, that we've come together. That it's just like we're all an email, a phone call, a text message away from each other. I mean,
Yep.
there are days that you guys kill me, and I have to actually like mute my phone because I'm on a meeting for my day job, and the thing is just beeping like crazy. Which is funny, right? Because I'm instead of paying attention, I'm just sitting there reading text, just kind of laughing at some of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things is, even then, if I'm in a meeting, I'm picking my phone up afterwards to find out what just happened, and we're all there for each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's become a close-knit community. Like, I love it. And
Yeah.
you kind of answered this earlier, but I want to get a little deeper into it.
Yeah.
So, what really inspired you to start that creating that YouTube content? Is
we can dive a little deeper into that, right?
Yeah.
So going into, so I just started doing Cerakote work, and taking guns apart, and then what drove me nuts was, it's like, all right, here's a gun that I've never worked with before. Somebody's got to have a video on this, right? And then I'd go out there and look for a video. And it's like, okay, we're going to do, and they're done. You're like, I have no idea what the hell you just did, right? Or they'll slow down, but it's like, your hand is in the way, your head's in the way, the lighting's wrong. I can't see what you're talking about. So you end up just kind of figuring out yourself anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really how I worked on my style, because I'm like, everybody's doing these videos, but nobody can see what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's got to be a better way of doing this. And that's why, my first video took me 40 hours is, number one, learning how to edit. Number two, I'm like, I didn't learn about how to make, if it wasn't done in the first cut, I would redo the whole cut. Right.
Yeah. That's how I started.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do it anymore. I'm writing out a script and everything.
And it's one of those things of, you just go through, and it's like, for me, with those pictures that I do, because I embed the pictures, the before and after of the step, I'm like, I don't need to go all the way through one shot, because if I screw up, I'm just going to take a picture and throw it up there, and no one's going to know the difference.
Yep.
Right? I was like, oh, cool. That's a cool picture. Okay. But so that's really how I came up with the format. I just did not like what was out there, and I just wanted to build a better mousetrap.
Yeah, I know you've been doing YouTube for a while now, and it was
5 years. 5 years.
5 years is a long time.
Almost 5.5 now. It depends on what anniversary you look for. We registered the channel on Mischief Night, but the first video didn't hit until January 1st. We purposely launched the first video on New Year's Day, just to get, like, the first video was on New Year's.
Yeah.
Thinking back, that was the dumbest time to launch a video.
Right now, you're like, damn, nobody was gonna watch on New Year's night.
Yeah, who was watching on New Year's Day? That's dumb. But yeah, these are the things you learn, right?
So you've been through it, where like YouTube used to give us way more freedom to post up what we wanted to post up.
So I registered my channel. I'm like, cool, I'm going to be a YouTuber, right? And then even before my first video came out, the first adpocalypse hit. And I'm like, ooh, what's this going to mean to me? How's this going to affect me? And I'm like, screw it. I'm not I'm not monetized anyway, so I'm just going to launch videos, right?
Mhm.
You know, I'll deal with that when I get monetized. So I just started launching videos, and it didn't really affect me. It affected me later. I got my first video taken down was oddly enough the reassembly of the Beretta 92 frame.
Mm.
I like
Okay.
of all the videos that get taken down, that's kind of an odd one, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I started learning about the organizations who like literally go through YouTube and watch videos and find gun videos and then report them. So that was probably a reported video. And the funny thing is I put the exact same video up, no changes, nothing. It was like 6 or 8 months later. I put it back up, and all I did is rather than had the thumbnail, it just has censored right on it. That's all. That's all the thumbnail was censored, and it's still up. What three, almost 4 years later?
Wow.
You know, I realized that even with the compliant video, your title can even get you flagged.
Oh, yeah. So I got a video taken down. You're gonna love this. Where the hell is it? It's right here. It's a bench block for a Glock.
Okay.
This got me taken down. I got a video taken down because the title was 3D print Glock bench block. There wasn't even a gun in the video, right?
Yeah.
And it was this. It was just printing this. They saw 3D print Glock, bam.
Yep.
Community strike on the channel.
Wow.
And it took me. I fought it, lost, appealed it, lost, and then it took it took a friend of mine who's also a content creator talking to some high ups at YouTube to get it overturned, and they actually overturned it and took the community strike away from the channel.
Huh.
Wow. I got lucky recently where I had an SCT video up, and I think the title had build in it, even though I wasn't building anything in it. I was just I was trying to title it as a build so I could make a playlist out of it. But just the fact that I put build on there on the title, they flagged it.
You're done.
And
so
luckily I appealed it and they reviewed it and put it back on. But I was like, that's when I really thought of it. I'm like, wow, they're actually flagging us for titles now.
Well, yeah, they flag for titles, they flag for descriptions, they flag for even your tags that you put in it.
Right.
Like if you see some of my newer videos, I don't do disassembly reassembly videos anymore. I do deep cleaning videos.
Yeah.
And so that's why everything has to be in one now. So I can't do disassembly video then a reassembly.
Right.
It's got to be one, and then I got to have a cleaning component put into it. And I've successfully fought off every single one of those so far.
Okay.
Awesome.
Like, is it because you're pulling the maintenance aspect of it?
Yeah, because it's maintenance and cleaning.
Okay.
So cleaning is the easiest way to do it, because if you say maintenance, it could get a little weird, right? Because let's just say I have a worn down sear in a pistol. Well, replacing the sear is maintenance, right?
Yeah.
But you got to take half the gun apart so they can see that it's building, right? So that way cleaning just kind of goes all the way, because that's why I call it a deep cleaning. Well, it's really crappy to show you how to deep clean a gun and not show you how to put it back together afterwards, right?
Yep.
And then as you're putting it back together, look how clean that part is. You know, I'm kind of laughing in my head as I'm doing the video.
Yeah.
But you got to play the games, and then even what you say in the video, because they're watching everything you're saying in the video as well. You got to watch out for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can get flagged so many ways that, you know, if they don't like it, they'll find a way of taking you down.
I hear you. So that being said, What have been some of your biggest successes as a YouTuber, even after fighting all that craziness?
God, my biggest success. Honestly, the network of people that I have.
Yeah.
That has been my biggest success, because when I first started, it's the whole lone wolf thing, right? Like I don't need anybody, right? I just want to do my stuff, and then it took a while for the channel to catch on, because I didn't have any friends that have gone through this before to
Right.
kind of mentor me and tell me some things. I learned a lot of mistakes myself, and then now it's the network of people that I have is just awesome, because I can go through anything, and like even with all of us, if I have a question, I can just throw it out, and I know I'm going to get an answer. Like, hey, did anybody run into this before?
Yeah.
One of us has run into it.
And if we haven't, we can always find
If we haven't,
a way to figure
if we
it
haven't, well, hey, none of us are as dumb as all of us, right?
out. That's true. Very
Well,
true. Yeah.
if we all get together, we can have some dumb moments together.
Yeah. Well, instructor meetings at FCU get really interesting. Like that one meeting that I missed, and then I came back and found out that we were going to have like student of the month in our meetings. I'm like, have you guys thought this one out?
Yeah.
Do you really? Have you guys heard of some of the stuff that we say?
I mean, but that brings the fun in it, behind the scenes,
right.
and getting to really know people for who they are. Because who you see on this is not necessarily everything you're going to see behind the scenes.
It's a cleaned up version of what happened, what's under the hood, right?
Oh yeah.
It's still us. It's just what we say is a little more guarded.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yep.
So for somebody that's been on YouTube for 5 years now, what is a piece of advice you can give somebody that is just starting out on YouTube?
Don't be a gun channel.
Yeah.
Find something else.
I'm telling you, I will tell you, my kids are like, "Hey, Dad, I want to be a YouTuber," and I'm like, "Well, what do you want to do? Toys and video games and stuff?" I was like, "Okay,
go for it."
We probably actually do something besides worry about whatever I'm posting."
They'll actually show up on people's explore page.
Yeah. Like I have a friend of mine at work. We talk every day at work. He's got a YouTube channel, and his YouTube channel is about how to do like the theme parks down in Orlando, because he's down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also a gun guy, right? And I get onto this team, and he's like, "Oh, a gun guy, awesome." So we talk guns all the time. We'll talk on the weekends too about stuff. And then he's like, "I want to do a gun channel." I'm like, "No, you don't. You don't want to do a gun channel." And he's like, "Why not?" And I go, first of all, this is all the crap that I got to go through. And, I go through all the stuff. I even went through the whole takedown letter from the 5 senators. And he's like, "Okay, well, I still want to do something with guns." I'm like, "Dude, you like fishing, you like kayaking, you like canoeing, you like camping, you like shooting. Do an outdoor channel. Like water it down so much that when you do some gun content, it's not the primary focus, and you'll start kind of flying under that radar." Like, everybody's like, "Why don't you do more, disassembly, reassembly videos on my channel? Why are you doing so much product reviews?" I'm like, I have to water it down. It's kind of like, for every disassembly, reassembly video I do, I got to do like 10 product reviews to try to like get back under the radar again.
Mm-hmm.
So just be careful of your niche that you're going after, and realize that if it's a heavily regulated niche, I mean, if you're going to do something about legalization of marijuana, you're going to run into the same problem that we have. There are other niches that have a problem. Just realize that you're going to run into some problems, and have a game plan to get around it.
Yeah. Which the key thing that I'm learning is I'm going to do a bunch of watered down stuff for YouTube, and then everything's going to be on the website, because it's not going to be regulated. So you want to see the good stuff, you come to my website and you'll get the good stuff, which is terrible because, you know,
Well, yeah.
you can't even do it here. You can't do it here. There's no way that I could show all the different things that I want to talk about, all the different content and breaking stuff down. And
There are videos that I had to cut content out of, and in those videos, it's like, hey, I had for YouTube, policies, I had to cut some content out. Go to my webpage for the full, the full video.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I had to do it. There was just no way around it.
Yeah, see, Gin Champ has it. His popped up. Where'd it go? Nope, not yet. Sorry. There it is. Right there. Use the tube as a funnel. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. And that honestly, at this point, I think that's what we're kind of doing with Freedom Crew University, and because even now, like the videos I'm putting now, like I feel bad about putting them out at this point sometimes because I can't give you all the details that I really want to show. Like I have to chop it up so much, but like still try to keep everybody's attention going. Like,
yeah. Well, and that's going to be the key thing is people are going to be like, well, where can I find the good stuff at? You only touch on this for like 2 or 3 minutes. So what about this and this? And they're going to have questions. So going over to, a web page where you can get it, or coming to the university, and we're going to have all our content out there where you can, get those videos as well from there. I mean, that's going to be the place to find it.
Yeah. So talking about Freedom Crew University, it brings us up to the next topic: is what is Freedom Crew University and what sets us apart from the other programs? Banshee,
well, there is no other programs. That's the thing is if you want to learn the stuff that we can teach you, you're looking at full on gunsmithing school for like 20 grand, and then you're going to have to write a term paper about the literary importance of French cuisine, or some crap like that. You're gonna have to go through. It's like, I just want to learn how to build a Glock, right? And that's the thing, is going to FCU. Not only can you learn that skill, but you get to pick the instructor you can learn it from, right? Because I mean, all of us know how to build a Glock. We've all done it. And it's like each one of us has a slightly different way that we do things. And it's like, well, okay, that's cool, but this person is more my speed. Awesome. Go learn it from that person. And that's the cool thing about that. And what's so funny is that, I had someone ask me one time, like, okay, you got all these builders together. Isn't there don't you have like some ego? Like, well, I do it better. And we're like, no, none of us care because we all respect each other.
Yeah.
That's why the group of people that we have are the group of people we have. We all have respect for each other. We have respect for people. Hey, look, I did the first P320, MUP 1 build. I had the first video up.
Yeah.
It was also the last one to get taken down for some reason. Like, Marine Gun Builder did one after me, and I remember watching his going, crap, why didn't I think of that? Right? I mean, he came out with something. I'm like, damn, I totally did not see that one coming. I have respect for that.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about Freedom Crew is, you get to pick your instructor that really, just jives with the way you would want to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, even us, like, I can learn stuff from you. And that's the great thing is if, once I start doing my MUPs, like, I've got resources. I've got you. I've got Kenny. I've got whoever else.
We talked about your MUPs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things of, it doesn't matter. If I do it great, if I do it better, I mean, for me, teaching the P320 build class, when MUPs become available again. Um, and honestly, there are things that Marine Gun Builder did that I'm like, I'm totally stealing that. He's like, go for it.
Yep.
Because I mean, there's things I've done that other people have like, cool. That's the way I want to do it. I don't care. That's awesome.
I mean,
as long as we all learn.
Exactly. And I've taken what I've learned from MGB and P80 Ralph and a couple other people that I've seen as well and kind of made it my own. So
yeah. And that's what's awesome about it. That's why we're a community.
I think we've all learned something from one another. It's we get the visualization from watching a video of somebody doing something, and we're like, okay, I like that little part of it. We can always take little aspects of each other's ideas and then put our own knowledge into it as well and do things our way and mix it up a little bit.
I mean, I built my first polymer 80 before MGB hit YouTube. I had my video out there before he even had a channel. He was doing all this stuff over on Facebook back then. And I had someone, it was a couple of years ago, just completely rip me on my video. Like, this is the wrong way to do it. And he is going through all this stuff. And he's like, go to Marine Gun Builder. He'll teach you. I'm like, my response was, absolutely go to Marine Gun Builder. He does it best. Realize that when I did this, these were the techniques that we had back then. They hadn't grown. This is what we had. This is what we dealt with. That guy just completely revolutionized how we build those things.
Yep.
So, I have no problem sending someone to him. It's like, honestly, I stopped when I saw his videos. I stopped doing Polymer 80 videos. I'm like, no, go watch his stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, if it wasn't for him, which I've said that I wouldn't have known. I mean, just messing around, looking at stuff on YouTube, and then bam, he popped up. I was like, what is this? So I checked it out, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, he has single-handedly made more people start building guns than anybody.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Doing home built guns. He single-handedly has done that, and that's the cool thing about our community. Yeah. We all respect that. We respect we respect all the builders.
Yep.
Let's see some of these.
Croak, man, come on, dude. He's always got a comment though. That's why I like having him here. He's always got a comment. It's fantastic.
Oh man.
Well,
take Shogun's class. Okay, guys. So if you are interested in stippling and you just don't know where to start, definitely sign up with Tool Crew University and take Shogun's class. If you haven't seen his work, go check out his Instagram. His work is so damn clean that you would think he lasered all that, but no, he's doing it by hand.
Yep.
Let's see.
Well, I mean, I'll say this: like when I first started stippling, I kind of watched Gled Hill, and then Frank Castle Customs, now Modern Pistolero, started his stipple university type classes and stuff. So I started doing that. And then when I met Shogun, like he showed me some different ways that just made it easier for me to do borders and do other stuff like that. So I took a bunch of stuff that from those three people and kind of put it together for my own, I guess, hobby stippling. I don't want to be a stippler. That's just not me, but it's fun. I won't lie, but yeah, because of those guys, especially Shogun, like he's so down to earth and like easy. He is. He's easy. Like if you need help with something, he's always there. So definitely, you should take his classes. I agree.
Yeah, I had him on the podcast too. Probably about a month after you guys.
Yeah.
And he's such an amazing person just to talk to. He's so easy to talk to, and his work is so amazing, right? I mean, and then listening to his journey about getting to where he is, he's the real deal.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
Man, what did he say?
We're really good friends.
What did he say about becoming one with the gun? There was something special that he said about that. I'm trying to remember it.
Oh, he likes his hands to become one with things.
Yeah.
Apparently, his hands are covered with hamburger grease right now, but
stop it. No, it's the warrior and the weapon, right?
Yeah.
The warrior and the tool. So
there you go. What do you say, Grant? I stippled my hand once on a barbecue.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that too.
Jesus, come on, people!
Did you get that wonderful char mark?
Got the waffle. Kind of get the waffle pattern.
And so harmony between. Okay, there we go. Harmony between warrior and weapon.
Shenanigans. That's what I call it.
So, Banshee,
I had to show that. Sorry. All right, go back.
Burger kick.
Banshee, so you kind of touched down on this with the MUP. What are you going to be specializing in as a chief instructor at FCU?
So I've got the AR class, which I've been working on that for the past week. I'm hoping to have some things finished up in the next week there. I'm also teaching the P320 and MUP1 classes, and then eventually 1911. So Marine Gun Builder and I both of us are pretty good 1911 builders, and that's the thing with 1911s. Right now I have a student just passed the background check that I'm talking to, but we don't have a 1911 class yet, so we're looking at doing possibly some private instruction to get him through what he needs to do. 1911s are a different beast. It's kind of like taking an AR, right? AR is assembly work. I mean, it really is assembly work.
Mm-hmm.
Take an AK is not assembly work. There's a lot of things going on in an AK. So the 1911 is the same way, right? It's not assembly work, because when you're doing a 1911, you can't be afraid of a file. Sooner or later, you're going to pull a file out, and you can't be afraid of that. So I'll be doing 1911, and then there's things that MGB and I have talked about for the future that are just they're way down the road. But I have already got some other plans for FCU in the future.
Okay, nice.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I mean,
I would love to take a 1911 class just because I don't own one, and I'm not afraid of shaving a little bit of material off at a time. But
yeah, you gotta. That it's funny because I still want to pick it up, but I know we're live, so I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I've got a 1911 on the shelf here that I've been working on for literally years. And I did not the stippling. We're talking about stippling. The checkering on the front strap of it, and that's all hand checkered. So, I did the slide blending of it and stuff like that. I've done videos about that, and people are just like, "Man, why do you hate that gun so much?" I'm like, "It's not that I hate the gun. I'm making it mine. I have this slide. The slide's finished, but I don't care because I'm gonna Cerakote it. Where I've got the slide blended in, so the lines are nice and smooth going into the beaver tail. I even kind of went up, and then I have the the sights that are on it. So I even blended it into the sights. And then, the slide serrations were square notched. So I took a chainsaw file and I rounded them off. So now they're nice kind of scalloped. Um,
Interesting.
And then, I did to the front, and then I'm kind of doing a whole, almost like a melt job on it where, I'm dehorning it, taking off all the sharp edges. So that way the idea is so it's nice and smooth all the way around. There's a lot of things you can do to a 1911. You just got to get over the thing of, holy crap, I'm taking a file to a gun.
I mean, it's not for everybody. If you're not willing to mess up just a little bit, or like cause a little blemish.
And these are, I want to call him Kenny all the time. MGB and I, the two of us will get on the phone together, and we will literally talk for like hours about things, because we talk about, this 1911 class is probably only going to run twice a year, because not everybody is going to build a 1911, and then not only is not everybody even interested in building it, it's a lot of money in tools. I mean, you are talking minimum $500 in tools to do the 1911. So you're not going to put that kind of scratch out unless you're going to do a bunch of them, right? So that's what we talk about this stuff. Like that class will probably only run like twice a year if we can get enough students, and then going into because I started the other way. I started building 1911s before I ever built a polymer 80. So I went 1911 MUP 1, 1911 polymer 80, then a MUP 1. So, I started off with the hard stuff. And then, when it came around to a polymer 80, I'm like, this is easy. So, if you go through like Freedom Career University, you might go from a polymer 80 class into a MUP 1, because a MUP 1's a little more advanced than a polymer 80. And that might give you enough bravery to go into the 1911. Because there's a kind of a lot of things you got to do. You're looking at slides that are a couple $100 that were, in frame, even the frames. You're looking at a couple $100 in a frame that you're taking a file to fit a slide to. And if you take too much off, it's going to rattle a little bit. It'll still go bang, but you just got to make sure you're still within certain margins.
Right. And those are the things that you learn with the polymer 80. If you think about it, like some people like to cheat the system and go get the Rook rails. And I get it. You want that perfect fit. You don't have to mess with it. But that's why I like messing with the rails, because I'm hand fitting it to the slide that it's going to go with.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the thing with, I remember the first time I put a set of rails into the back of a polymer 80, and I'm like, why the hell is this thing not fitting? Right? Yeah. Like, and then I went on MGBs, and he starts talking about how the curve on some of these things are not right. And I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. And then I watch this video. I'm like, well, I'm good with a file. I just kind of filed that thing down and dropped right in, holes aligned. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
Just don't be afraid to do it. This is why you want to learn to do these things.
Yep.
I
do want to answer this question too. I don't know if y'all want to touch on it, but I'd love for them to bring back double stack 45s again. Not gonna lie, that would be my perfect 1911. Bring me a double stack 45.
Wait, you like holding on to a 4x4 or something? I mean, you can do that with a Glock.
That don't matter to me. I carried a Glock 21 for several years. I wasn't cool enough to be one of those departments that paid the money to have the double stack 45. So,
yeah, I forgot they even made double stack 45 in 1911.
Yeah, they didn't last too long.
I would say, what would be I don't know about perfect caliber for 1911, but I would say 10 millimeter, which I know they make 10 millimeter 1911. It's like I think I might get a 10 millimeter 1911 before I get a 45.
I was just reading a comment on Sarge's channel. It made me laugh because knowing the person that comment came from. It's I for me, I have no problems if somebody wants it in a 10 millimeter or 9 millimeter or what was it the super. I don't care. Personally, I
What
like
is it? 38
I like
Super?
them at 45.
Yeah,
38
38
super.
super.
Yeah. Personally, I like my 1911s and 45. I guess I'm just kind of classic
Yeah,
that way.
for 1911, it makes sense, right? You want to keep it kind of classic.
Yeah.
And then you go into like your 2011s, and that should be, the
That's when you start
everything.
building your race. That's when you start building your race gun.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I do want a 9 millimeter 2011 or ish. Some of them they can't be called 2011 because Staccato kind of locked that in.
Yeah.
I feel like first there was a wave of P320s, maybe a year ago, and then, or a year and a half ago, and then like a year ago, then everybody started getting on the Staccato or 2011 scene. They're like, all right, well, we all have these P320s. Let's Gucci it up a little bit and go with something different.
It's funny. I've seen a lot of competition shooters that are big names that have dropped like Glock and Sig that are running Staccatos now.
Yeah.
And it's like Staccato they kind of cornered that market. I look at it this way going, I can appreciate a Staccato. I don't have $5,000 for one.
Right.
But I could build one.
Some of their prices are ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, even with a LE LE discount, it's still pretty high.
Yeah, you can really buy a used car, for some of the prices that they're asking for.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Well, yeah, you probably still could. It just depends on how many miles are on that used car. And just don't buy it from Carvana, or else you might end up with a stolen Maserati. I just read that one today.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
See, 10 mil is the thing. Everybody wants that 10 mil.
It's funny. When I was at an FFL, I used to get a lot of people coming in, like, because here in Montana, it's all outdoors, and they're like, "Well, what am I gonna? I want a gun for going hiking." I'm like, Glock and 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
Just do it, right? You're catching up with the comment I was laughing about.
Yeah.
It's just like, Glock's gonna go bang, and 10 millimeter. We got these things called bears out here. They tend to be really big here. You want to make sure you carry something with a little bit of a punch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was that?
I mean, it makes sense.
I know it wasn't a 1911, but I remember there was a company called Conan. They made a 357 Magnum.
Yep.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coonan, right? Okay.
Coonan. Yeah, it was Coonan. Had the 357, 357 Magnum, 1911. That was before the 10 millimeters came out.
Yeah. That was like what, back in the 80s?
No, they were still selling them even when I was in FFL, and so they were even selling them up to like 10 years ago.
Wow.
I think they're still around. I actually had one of those come through my shop one time.
Wow.
That's 357 Coonan Arms. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Christian. But carry something with a punch.
Geez. Here's your question, Banshee.
That's a good one.
What's my preferred clearance between rails and slides? So the guns I build, I tend to build a little more clearance than most people, but still within specs. The reason why I do that is I'm what I like to call a practical pistol shooter. Um, Go to an IPSC match or go to an IDPA or USPSA match and be in a squad with a bunch of people with some Kimbers,
Mm.
and you'll learn why you want just a little bit of slop in that slide, because you get halfway through a match and those guys with the Kimbers are cleaning their guns just to keep them running.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say there's an exact clearance that I go for. It just depends on what I'm building the gun for. If I'm building a gun for just a showpiece or a fine machine, I'll have it tight. But otherwise, I'll have a little bit of wobble in that slide, just because when I squeeze the trigger, I want it to go bang, and I don't care what environment I'm in.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, they want the tightest specs, but like you said, like
Oh, yeah.
how many rounds are they good for, or what environment?
I had one guy in a squad one time with me, and he was joking around. He goes, "I got the one Kimber that'll actually run." We got a third of the way through the match, and that thing started jamming on him while he was shooting, and we're all sitting there. And it was a very tight squad. I mean, we all kind of knew each other like really well. He's come walking back because he's like shooting, and he's like smacking the back of the slide trying to get the thing to come home. And he got done shooting. We're like, "Oh, you got the one Kimber that could run, huh?" And don't get me wrong, I love I love and appreciate the tight tolerances of some of these 1911s. If somebody came up to me and gave me a really nice Kimber, I'll take it off. Yeah, no problem. I'll take a free Kimber. I don't know if I'm going to run it, but it'll look really nice in my safe.
Talking about 1911s, for somebody that doesn't own a 1911 and wants to maybe get into the 1911 realm, which 1911 company would you suggest to them?
Are you talking about a factory build, or are you talking about building your own? The 1911 I run is actually the Ruger SR 1911. I like it. There are some things I don't like about it. Like, I was telling you about melting the back of the slide. My Ruger, the back of the slide is not blended at all with it, but I'm okay with that because it's a carry gun. It's got a little bit of slop, and I'm fine with that. I just wish they would finish them off a little better. But I like the Rugers. You're not going to spend a fortune off of them. The other 1911s I'm becoming very impressed with is Rock Island Armory. It's been coming out with some nice 1911s over the past few years, with like all the bells and whistles for a decent price, and they run.
Yeah, I mean, I've had one of my buddies. He's trying to kind of push me on a Rock Island, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I can tell you that I wasn't a fan of Kimber, and I know if I want a 1911, I want something that's going to run. So I don't know Rock Island. They're still kind of like that low end to me, but
they are. I'll admit they're low end. They also have some problems with their consistency and quality control. I'm not gonna lie.
So that's the biggest thing.
They do
QA/QC. QA/QC
for
is
me.
important.
And that's the thing is, for me, that doesn't scare me because I'll just take a file to it anyway.
Yeah.
But no, that is a problem with some of these things. I mean, was it Rock Island is it out of the Philippines? I think
so.
So, and
don't get me lying.
I think you're right about that.
And that's why I like that's why I like the Rugers. They're either built in like mine's built in Arizona.
Okay.
So, it's built here. It's a decent gun. It runs. I've never had a jam. In yeah, I like it. Like I said, I think they could do a little better with their production with finishing the slides off. But
Yeah.
again, that's an aesthetic thing, not a functional thing.
Makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
Crook brought up a good list right here. I've had good luck with SIG 1911s, Rugers. You can't say name for SA. All right,
Springfield
but
Armory,
yeah,
Yeah.
Rock River Arms,
Yeah.
Kimber. Yeah.
you know,
So
I remember about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. I think it was SIG that came out with the SIG Spartan or something like that, like a tactical 1911. I remember it was like a bronze coating on there. Like that thing looked sick, but I don't know how good they are now, if they even make them anymore.
and that's the thing is, I'm a very big SIG snob. I'll admit, I'm a SIG snob. I got a bunch of SIGs. So I mean, hell, I'm just looking around. I can see 4 of them right now, just looking around off camera. But the one thing I have about SIG is I think SIGs are a little overpriced for what they are. Um, even into the P320, I think the P320 is a little too overpriced.
Yeah, I think they
But
sell you a name more than the product.
they do. I mean, let's face it. I'm looking around. I have my SIG 220 in a holster over here. Um, that's a U.S. SIG. I've never had a problem with it, but I wouldn't mind a German one better. Just saying.
I wouldn't mind a quality 226 maybe in the future, but other than that, I never really. And I own a 320, but I probably I had one range trip with that thing, and it's been in the safe since.
Well, you see, and that's the thing for me is, I came off of Glocks. Um, One of the problems I have is with my hands. I've been banging away on computer keyboards since I was in 3rd grade. Carpal tunnel is a thing in my industry. And that's why I stopped shooting Glocks, because the ergonomics of a Glock just weren't working for me. I can still run the crap out of a Glock, but my hands start hurting. So I went to SIG, and I went to the SIG 229. And it was really tough going from a striker fire going back to double action, single action, and then they came out with the 320, and I was like, this is the SIG I was looking for. And I hate to say that my first trip out with my P320, because I was a very early adopter of the 320, um, it it was like a bad first date. Okay. Because I'm sitting there and I didn't like my P320. I hated it. I was like, this is not the gun I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, she goes, your problem is that you're expecting this P320 to be your Glock. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of the most wisest words that was ever spoken. I'm like, the second I stopped treating that P320 as a Glock, that's when I fell in love with that gun.
Yeah.
And
I need to take mine out for another range trip. It's been a while, and I kind of got talked into building that one.
But you got some good grip mods out of it, so
yeah, I did actually.
So
neighbor.
I'll say this: just thank yourself that you never touched the 250, which was before.
What's funny, when that
God,
250 came out,
stupid.
When that 250 came out, I'm like, oh, cool. I love the modularity of the 250, but I'm like, double action only. That was the dumbest thing. That gun should have been striker fired. Was what went through my mind. And then what really pissed me off about the 320 when it came out with it was the 320 had the 940 chassis, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you wanted 45, that was another chassis. It was a completely different chassis because, back then they didn't even have the 45 out yet. No. So when they came out with the conversion modules for the 45, and they're like, these don't work with the 940s. And then I'm like, well, where did the 380 go? Because that was the advantage with the 250 is you can go 380 all the way through 45 with the same chassis, and that's what kind of made me mad on the 320 when it first came out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I wasn't I didn't get the first set. I got the X5, and it already had the groove cut out for the trigger.
Yep.
That whatever groove. So I didn't have any issues with it. Like I can hit it with a hammer, all that stuff. It won't fire. I don't have any issues with the striker dropping or anything stupid.
See, mine was my first 320 was before that. I had sent mine in. Not only did I have sent mine in, but I had to send my conversion kit in with it as well.
Oh,
yeah. Because my first 320 was in 40. Because I was coming off of the 229 in 40. Mm-hmm. So I went into 40 in the 320, and then I'm like, this is stupid staying in 40. So I bought the 9mm conversion kit, and I got the gun back. Right, I got the gun back. I'm like, I had contact Sig going, "Where's my conversion kit?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're just doing the guns. The conversion kits it'll come in a few weeks." Like, okay, but yeah, I have I have an X5. That's my competition gun right now, and I've never worried about the 320 going off. I am careful about what holsters I run for the 320 though.
I mean, it makes sense.
Because I think some of these inadvertent discharges are because of holster problems.
I guarantee you some of them are. Guarantee you some of them. Maybe not all of them, because they did the huge recall because they found something wrong with them, and that was true. But definitely some of them were holster related. I mean, even in my community, the two that I know about were holster related.
Yeah,
I know when they were having issues with them dropping the gun and it going off, went like years prior.
And that's when that drop fire thing happened. First of all, I don't know anybody that drops their gun on the back of it, but okay, everybody updated their testing procedures after that happened, right? I'm sure even Glock was like, "Oh crap, does that happen with ours?" And they're banging the back of that thing.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things that came out of that was all the people dressing up in bulletproof gear, going, "Hey, we're going to show you that this thing actually goes off." Like, guys, why don't you like pull the bullet out of that, dump the powder out, and just let the primer go off? Yeah. No, they're hitting the back of 320s with bulletproof gear because this thing might actually hit them, or if they drop it, it might actually hit them. Like, guys, that'll do great for you if you get hit. Yeah, it's great for you if you get hit in the chest. But what happens if you get hit in the leg, cuts the femoral artery? There's so many other ways you can kill yourself with that, or maybe it hits you in the head. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, one of my buddies that I was, we were both in a Army unit together. He was Dallas PD, and he was at his house cleaning his firearm, and he went to reholster and shot himself and killed himself in front of his wife and daughter because he hit himself in the femoral artery, and there's nothing he could do. He bled out like that fast.
You're done.
Yeah, so it's real. You don't want to do dumb stuff with firearms.
That being said, invest in a quality holster.
Yeah.
And was that a duty holster or a personal holster?
No, it was a duty holster. It was his fault. It wasn't the holster. That was when he went to reholster it, he put his finger where he shouldn't have. Unfortunately, so
mistakes happen, but sometimes those mistakes are life and death. So.
Yeah, I mean, he survived combat. He was a Marine when he first deployed. And what's funny is it's not funny, but his wife, she lost her first husband during the early stages of GWAT, who was a Marine. And then she married him, and then, that's just terrible.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, terrible
Yeah, that's
stuff.
sad.
What did Croak say over here?
Yeah, that's what I'm just reading right now.
What isn't he saying? Jeez.
ATF and Progs want more
I mean-
guns than ATL. Uncle Mike says.
Uncle Mike's. What? I mean, there's another holster company I could mention that they probably should outlaw too, but they do bring
What is that? WTP?
affordability and no, the affordability. Oh yeah, I got you. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. We the people.
So yeah, man.
I know, Banshee, you have a holster company that you're affiliated with, right?
Yeah, that's so I have Falco Holsters is actually the sponsor of my podcast. Funny story, I ran into them at SHOT Show last year, and when you go to SHOT Show, it's like, great, another holster company, awesome, right? You know, I mean, there's like a billion holster companies there, and I remember walking by the booth, I'm going, okay, well, leather holsters, I like leather holsters. Okay, I'm making a mental note that, okay, this is one booth I want to come back to. And as I'm walking down, I turn my head, and the guy is standing like right in front of me. I'm like, oh, shit. I almost ran the guy over. And his name was Martin. He works for Falco Holsters. And I was talking to Martin, and then I ended up in his booth, and then I ended up with a couple of their holsters after SHOT, and then they were on the podcast, and then I became really good friends with them. I really like their holsters because.
Well, you're one of those weird guys that like leather anyway. So.
Well, I like leather, but yeah. I Kydex.
I have to tease you because that's all I'm saying.
I know. I get it. I totally get it, man. That's okay. Hey, look, if you want to cheat and just melt some plastic, that's up to you, man.
Yeah.
But no, it's I do like leather holsters.
Yeah,
and
the one you got's pretty cool.
Yeah, the one I got, I love. I can do this off camera real quick and then show you.
Yes.
So I just got this one in. I got two. So this is actually a level 2 retention holster in leather.
Nice.
So there's a thumb rest on the backside, so it's locking into your trigger guard.
Right.
That's probably the reason why these are not available for the P320.
Right.
Anything locking into the trigger guard of the P320, you're stupid.
Yeah.
But no, and then they etched. I'll see if I can get the glare just right. They actually etched the Banshee.
There you go. Yep.
On the holster for me. So these are awesome. I like. The reason why I like them is they're handmade.
Right.
These are not machine made; they're handmade.
Right.
So that's why.
I mean, we were making handmade Kydex holsters too, but
I know. It's all good. It's okay. It's okay. We'll totally tease you later about
I know.
it. But,
jeez.
But you see, that's why we love each other, Ben, right? Because we can just sit there and just jab on each other for that.
It's all right. I'm not going to hate because of leather. I'm just not a detective.
Yeah, there you go.
No shoulder holsters, no leather holsters.
Don't call me sir. I work for a living.
Exactly. There you go.
I look at it this way: if you're wearing a leather holster, you're probably carrying a 1911
or a Beretta 92.
Beretta 92 or a Walther PPK. But
maybe other people do. That's for my SIG P220. The other one I got has my Glock 26. It's currently being seasoned for a Glock 26. I have P320. I got all kinds of stuff. I just like the leather. I don't know. It's just I don't know. Maybe I'm into S&M or something. And I just like leather.
Oh Jesus!
Go
He made a point. He made a point.
Yeah.
We carried those too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We're getting to our hour 15 mark, but before we end the show, I'm a pull off one of your cards and ask
Uh-oh.
you something.
Oh, okay.
All right.
If there was one gun and one gun only that you like,
Oh,
yeah, which one would it be?
One gun and one gun only for the rest of my life.
If you could have okay.
You went. Oh, you went the other way with that. Okay, you went the. Yeah, I know where you got that from. You totally stole that from my.
Exactly.
If there's one gun that I could have, I'm gonna follow up with a question. Do I have to feed it ammo, or are you giving me the ammo for free?
No, you gotta get the ammo. The ammo prices are too
high. Okay, so that takes out the Gal 9.
Yeah. Yes.
I think MP5.
Ooh.
HK MP5. Okay. Just because I've had a chance to play with one of those fully suppressed, full auto, full suppressed with a SWAT team one time, and it's a fun gun, and that roller delay is just so smooth.
It is. The SD is, in my opinion, the perfect suppressed sub gun. Perfect. Like, you can't get any better.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but you just can't.
Gen Champ, to answer your question, we do the show every other week. We kind of changed it up this month because of St. Patty's and the way we had it with the first show of the month. We didn't want to miss any viewers due to, St. Patty's night. So, yeah, usually every other week we'll have it, and both Sarge and I will be announcing, what week we'll be on. So just hit the notifications button. Stay tuned. You can sign up. You could follow us on Instagram. That's where you can find most of our information. But yeah, I would love to see you back on the show ask us questions and all that. For any of the viewers, like, you could all follow us. I'll put in the link right here. Well, not the link, but where you can find us. You could also find us in the description.
Yeah.
And I believe we also have the Rogue Banshee in the description too, where you can find him.
Yep. Yeah, we do.
So most definitely, if you're not following the Rogue Banshee, go ahead and give him a follow. Great content. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Instagram. Where else can they
now that I got a new Instagram because I got locked out of the first account.
Okay, so which one do you use? Because there's Rogue Banshee, then there's Rogue Banshee Media. So which one do you use?
So Rogue Banshee Media is the new one. Rogue Banshee is still there, but through a ongoing disagreement with Instagram, they will not let me back into that account.
That sucks.
This is very true. Between him and Jason, I get spammed with a lot of memes. Not gonna lie, but it's fun. I let it happen sometimes.
I know. I said Xeon and Polish Man most of the memes and funny stuff, and they send it back to me. Just look. I subscribe. So.
But yeah, he's talking on mine. So I'm guessing he was unsubbed to my channel.
Well, did
or maybe he subbed to the other channel.
Yeah, that's probably what happened, Kurt. Is Sarge had an original channel, then he made this one specifically
for the brand. That's why there's two different logos. Yeah. So.
But definitely, guys, check to see your subscriptions, because YouTube likes to play those games and take subs off sometimes.
Yes, they do. Definitely.
And I don't know if that has anything to do with how often you guys are checking out the channel or not, but sometimes they just take people off just to take them off, and it happens to a lot bigger channels too all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I get they do some cleanup every once in a while. There's some times where I've had like people just disappear from my channel.
I'm sure it's inactive accounts. Is what
it could be inactive, or someone that hasn't like been to your channel in like a year, and then it's like we're they do.
Okay.
It depends on what second of the day and what YouTube thing is going on.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times, like, people won't see my videos until like maybe a few days later. That's why I try to post in the community thread too, just in case. But yeah, like Christian said, it's a constant battle.
Yeah, it is. That's why I said don't create a gun. If you're going to go create a YouTube channel, don't create a gun channel. Go somewhere else.
Yeah. Make a cooking channel.
Cooking or makeup. Yeah, makeup channels do pretty good, right?
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. DLD is how I found you. Hey, DLD is a great guy. He's also
awesome guy.
Also one of our instructors at Freedom Crew University. So
yeah, there's a few of his guys on here, which is always cool. I'm always happy to see all the different channels kind of coming together and hanging out and stuff. So
see, when I'm on DLD's show, because I've been on there twice, we changed it from DLD After Dark to DLD All Night, because the two of us were on for like 3 hours.
Yep.
We're like falling asleep. We're both of us like falling asleep on camera, but we're still going.
Yeah, with DLD, definitely make sure you get some rest. Take a nap before.
Oh no, I'm like, when I went on there, I was like, look, this is my cutoff time, man. 2 hours is my max. I can't do any longer than that. I've got family. I want to make sure I'm there for them. So,
yep, there you go. That's exactly what I had in mind when I said a cooking channel.
Yeah.
So, well, we're past the 120 mark, guys. Is there anything any of you want to mention before we cut this live and go on with the night? Or
as far as me,
Sarge,
come on,
Jason,
man. Always.
Jason,
I want to tell everybody thank you, but I always wait till last. So
yeah, of course, guys. As always, we truly appreciate you guys coming to join us and asking questions and just showing support for the show. It wouldn't be the same without you. It wouldn't be worth it without you guys showing up. And we're always going to be here. Like, I know sometimes I'll put out a video and I might not get to your comments right away, but I always do my best to answer them. And over here, we try to get all your questions and comments here on the screen. But it's tough sometimes. But I truly appreciate you guys coming in and showing your support.
Yeah.
Banshee, is there anything that you would like to tell the audience or share?
I'd just say, look, realize that we're all community. Firearms, it's a community. The biggest thing I like to tell people is just remember it's all about respect. If someone doesn't agree with you, that's fine. Just let them disagree with you, but just realize that they're a person too, and just respect them. It's just, you never know what's going on. You never know. They just might have a bad day and they just want to be an ass. Just disengage. And we all just need to respect each other, regardless of which way we're leaning, because I'm sorry, man. I don't care who you are. You're an American. You're an American. You deserve my respect. I might not agree with you, but I can respect your opinion.
Yeah.
No, it's a good thing to leave people on. You don't want to be like me. Why they call me Angry Sarge? I drop a lot of hate and discontent everywhere. So,
I don't say I don't do that when it's needed.
Lots of hate and lots of discontent.
Cross me and find out what happens. I like to tell everybody, I can be your best friend or your worst enemy, but you get to pick which one you are.
There you go.
So on that, hey, thank you guys, gals, for coming to join us. It was awesome to see you here. I know it's been a bit, and we're going to be back in 2 weeks, right? No changes.
Yes. So, we'll announce the date I gotta look at it again, but we'll definitely announce the date.
Yeah, I think it's the 3rd or 4th or somewhere around there.
I'll have to
Something
look
like
at the calendar. And also want to end the live with. I got a book over the weekend. Right here. Let me just
Okay.
put that.
There
So,
you go.
4 Pillars of Fighting by James Yeager.
All right.
Yeah.
I got this over the weekend, and there's a group. But yeah, definitely enjoying this book so far. I've been reading a little bit every day, just on my free time. Gotten halfway through, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a nice little. It's about mindset, tactics, skill, and gear, and
Yeah.
it's not a biography of James Yeager. That's not what he wanted, but his knowledge is in there. So if you're looking for a new book to read, and you can find that on Amazon. I'm not getting anything out of it, but I am enjoying the book so far. But guys, that being said, hope everybody enjoys their weekend. Go watch John Wick. If you're not
I
doing
know.
it tonight,
I got to. I got to go watch it.
go watch it tomorrow. That's what I'm planning on doing. And if you haven't been keeping up with my SCT 19 series, check that out. I got some spare parts and stuff like that, replacement parts that I'm gonna be tinkering with. I'll have some videos up this weekend. And have a great evening, everybody.
Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you for coming.
Take care, everybody.